Welcome to episode number 14 of Visions, Dreams, and Insights. And as you can see, it is all about pumpkins. It is that wonderful time of the year when, for those of us here in the northern climes of the Midwest, we're seeing autumn at its peak. The colors have been astonishing this year. And for those down under, I'm sure that we're seeing the emergence of a beautiful cycle of spring arrival. So what's it all about? What's the latest vision, and what is the insight around the vision? Well, this was an interesting vision that came through because it was all about seeing what you're not seeing and believing in what is not really there. And as I was walking through the woods in this visionary state, this kind of a dream that came through for me, I was surrounded by a lot of chaos, a lot of disorder, and so I was having to accommodate all of these elements that were popping up in my path and causing me to have to make detours and step over things, and as the vision began to dissipate, the voice came through very strong, and it said, "Don't trip over any illusions." And I thought, well, that's kind of an interesting thought. So then as I went throughout the day yesterday thinking about what the deeper meaning of the vision was, because on the surface it's very obvious, but there's always a deeper theme that runs through most of the imagery that comes into my mind's eye. And with this, I finally, last night, looking at things astrologically, came across some interesting and I think relevant points. We are on the edge of seeing a new moon occur. And most of the astrologers out there are talking about the new moon in Scorpio, and the solar eclipse, and of course factoring into that Mercury being at a stationary retrograde position, getting ready to go direct. And I thought, wow, we got a beautiful lineup here of interesting illusions to perhaps contemplate. And the first one being the idea of this new moon being all about Scorpio. Well, hate to say it, folks, but this new moon has got a little bit of a coloring of Scorpio. But the reality is, 0 degrees of Scorpio is 30 degrees of Libra. And so here's the first illusion that we have to put our attention on. This new moon, while it is in that in-between mode, and it will be advancing into Scorpio, it nonetheless is at the 0 degree point, and it's not engaged in Scorpio until it hits the 1st degree, which will be after the new moon. The second interesting illusion is the idea of an eclipse. And of course the sun is always there. Tribal peoples and ancient peoples all around the planet, when they observed an eclipse starting to unfold, it frequently would create pandemonium because they were afraid the sun was going to be taken away. And of course the sun is just doing its thing. It's just hanging out there at the center of our solar system, radiating light and life. And so that passage of something obscuring it is momentary. It is the illusion of the sun being diminished, when in actual fact the sun is shining as brightly as it always does. And there has been a brief passage of the moon transiting in front of the sun, giving us once again that idea of something to be fearful of. And that really, I think, is the core of all illusions. And then finally, the third factor with this new moon's arrival is the appearance of Mercury having been going backwards in the heavens for the last 3 weeks or so. And what a beautiful illusion that is. And we do put a lot of power into that illusion. We allow that Mercury retrograde cycle to interrupt or disrupt us on a multitude of levels. And right now, Mercury is sitting in what appears to be an absolutely stationary position. It's not going forwards, it's not going backwards, and perhaps it's time to ponder the idea that coming to stillness is what breaks the illusion, because as Mercury comes to stillness from its appearance of going backwards, it will once again resume that forward motion over the next week. So really, all of these different components that we're looking at in the heavens around us is causing us to perhaps get a deeper vision of what's real and what is not real. And I think the strongest and most significant point to this entire dialogue is around the idea that the sun is always shining. The spirit, divinity, God, however you wish to format it in your minds, is always radiating life and love and harmony and beauty. And that darker part of our own consciousness, that representation of the dark side of the moon, frequently comes up and tries to claim a position where it has diminished or ended the presence of that light. And it's our own interior dialogue that traps us and allows us or compels us to believe that we're separated from the life and light and radiance of that which is divine, and the death has power over life, when in reality a multitude of people have testified to their personal experience of the reality of eternal life and the eternal nature of divinity and the eternal nature of the light that emanates forth from not so much the center of the universe or the center of the solar system even, but the center of each and every one of us. And that really is the strong and powerful message of this new moon. Don't allow yourself to indulge the idea that you have been abandoned, that you are alone, that that inner light, that inner presence is not 100% switched on. It's not up to par as far as producing the warmth, the radiance, the growth, the joy, and the illumination that it always does. So, as we move through this week and experience the renewal of the moon, this moon is renewing itself in both signs, Libra and Scorpio, and both of those attributes should be highlighted. Libra being the collective, all of us together, our collective interests in life, and Scorpio, the darker realm, the hidden realm, our own subconscious, our collective subconscious, wherein all of our fears reside. So this eclipse is an invitation to be silent and to step into stillness just briefly and allow the illusion to pass, and then to re-experience, to reawaken to a greater vibrancy of the power of the sun within your life, within your soul, within your day-to-day experience. So anyway, that's episode number 14. Hope you enjoyed that. I will mention a new project is being assembled even as I speak here, and keep your eyes peeled for a new theme, a new project that I'll be working on in collaboration with a new friend. So the first video with that new theme will be arriving on Friday, and I think it's going to go in some directions that you'll have a lot of fun with. And the core of our dialogue will be around A Course in Miracles. So keep yourself on your tippy toes for just a couple more days, and look for that new video series that will be coming up as we're stepping forward into Scorpio time, very intense period of the year. So get out there, share the love, pass the love around, have a great time, enjoy autumn or spring depending on where you are, and I'll be chatting with you soon.
When yo, no, 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 no.